Hey, my name is PolishLynx, and here we go, Narcissu 0, Chapter 8, Choice, let's go. Let's see where this is going.
私は知っている。人は生まれついた瞬間から平等ではないことだ。
Just by chance, my body was apparently weaker. There were people who could overcome that, and people who couldn't. It wasn't particularly anyone's fault.
でも、一番の問題は、私自身ではない。きっと、私を囲む周りの者たちなのだろう。
Wave burden. It wasn't something easily expressed with words.
もし神様がいるのなら、今すぐ直してほしい。
And if that's not possible, kill me now.
だけど、どちらも選んではくれない。
So I had to make a choice on my own. There were only two choices to pick from. And so, the only thing I could say to him.
ありがとう。
And? I'm sorry. Oh shit. God damn it. July. I could hear the voices of the early cicadas. It was the end of the rainy season.
じゃあマキ、また明日。
Yeah, see ya. Some people who were acquaintances called out a greeting as they left the university. It's been 3 months since then. I've gotten used to the university, and daily life had become familiar. For the most part, everything was going well. At first, living in Tokyo gave me a lot of surprises, but now I think I'm experienced. Only, every day, my anxiety grew inside me. I bet she'll come today. I made a phone call to my house while I was thinking about that.
はい、マキエです。
Hiromi, huh? It's me, Hiroshi.
お兄ちゃん。
It was my little sister at the other end of the line. For the past while, I had been calling this nearly every day. So, how about today?
今日も来なかったよ。
I see. What's she doing? When I say she, naturally I mean Kusaka. When I left for Tokyo, she'd still occasionally show up at the home. But she stopped coming about a week ago. Of course I had no way to get in contact with her. Even when I tried to call her house, the phone was disconnected.
それで、陽子ちゃんの家にも行ったんだけど。
Her house? And what happened?
誰もいなかった。陽子ちゃんだけじゃなく、おじさんもおばさんも。
She couldn't be hospitalized. That was entirely possible. Starting last summer, she had been missing school so often, and I knew more than anything that her health was very delicate. And if she was hospitalized, then that would explain why her home's telephone was disconnected. Okay, I'm calling back this weekend. As I finished my call with my sister, my anxiety grew even worse. Well, I got some information in any case. Even about that thaw or parting at the station, that time bothered me. That's right, at the time, I didn't give it serious thought. However, the next day, when the sun had set completely, I went to my room, as I usually did when classes were over. What's this? In front of the entryway, I saw I had received a package in my mailbox, even before wondering who in the world could have sent it. For some reason, I felt afraid. It was addressed in familiar round handwriting. I didn't have to read it to know it was from Kusaka. With trembling hands, I broke the seal. There were several notebooks inside, our exchange diaries. We first started with the English notebook, her English notebook, but I think we went through 20 volumes since then. I had said in previous situations that they were embarrassing and to throw them away, but she had carefully saved them. But what does it mean? Then, in the notebooks, there was one last page. At the bottom of the page where she'd normally write Yoko's memos, in her usual round handwriting. A single line was written. Don't look for me. Well then, That only says we are going to look for her hopefully. I get on the first train out the very next morning. Jostling inside the train once again, heading back to my parents' house. No, I wasn't going to my own house. I was going to Kusaka. I immediately ran as fast as I could once I arrived at the station. I didn't think about lava in the crosswalk margins. Phew, I'm here. How many times had I walked to Kusaka's house? Taking a quick breath, I rang the doorbell. However, no one came, even after I waited. There wasn't a sign of anyone. Taking a better look, I saw that the storm shutters were closed and the nameplate had been taken down. Looks like they moved. You can also ask the neighbors. For that was most likely because she was hospitalized. No, even if she were moving, I couldn't believe she wouldn't say anything to me. This was just like she was running away from me and vanishing. In spite of knowing better, I stood stock still in front of the house. There wasn't another way to describe it except stock still. Eventually, why? Little by little, my feelings changed to anger. Then annoyance and sadness. Then just sadness. And lastly, it changed to fear. It couldn't be that. I'd never see her again. That terrifying thought popped into my mind. I didn't know what I should conclude. I returned to the home freely, and Hiromi came over to me. I explained what I knew to my sister. It seems that Kusaka's family has moved. Well, I don't know. The whole thing was too much to process inside. Even if I knew what had happened, acknowledging it to myself was a different matter. I wasn't even able to guess her reasons. I didn't know what the heck happened, but it was all too sudden. Above all, we promised no secrets, right? What, really? At my sister's suggestion, I lifted my head. I remembered hearing something about that. If I submitted a change of address, there might be something we could do. So saying, my sister ran off towards her bicycle. I breathed a sigh of relief, watching her back. It wouldn't stay the way it was now, not knowing where she had gone and being terrified of never seeing her again. We can meet again. That alone made me want to cry. I don't know why she moved. It's almost like she was trying to run away from me and disappear. What do you mean, don't look for me? I remember that and... Wait, Hiromi. I stopped my sister. Maybe, but we shouldn't investigate. Yeah, even so I won't mind. That's right. The problem wasn't that they moved. The more important question was why she disappeared without telling me. Honestly, I want to see her again right now. And after meeting her, I want to scold her. Keeping secrets, giving me all the exchange diaries. I want to yell at her for breaking so many of the rules. But in the end, I wanted to forgive her. I wanted to tell her it didn't matter and hug her. I wanted her always near me, just like before. But I couldn't. For she had always been helpless. She was always thinking of something. Because I was the person who knew her best. If she had run away and hid from me, then there must have been a reason somewhere. And she probably didn't want me to look for her. 2 weeks later, I had returned once again to Tokyo. I was writing the days entry in the exchange diary I had gotten from her. It's okay if you don't return it. Now, with that proclamation, even now, sometimes I write in the diary. Come to think of it, on days we took a break, we'd write 2 days worth. While muttering this, my mechanical pencil moved on. I thought of the rules we had created before. It had already been 2 weeks since then. Meanwhile, I thought of ways to get in contact. I had thought that suddenly she'd just show up. But that wasn't the case. For I told my sister that it was okay not to investigate. In reality, over and over I had wanted to ask private detectives to search for her. But each time, I thought of her wishes and disappearing before me. So I let go of that idea. Only, why didn't I at that time? I love you. Stay near me always. Why couldn't I say those words? Exactly, dude, why didn't you say that? No matter how much I thought of her, I knew that there were times that I should have said the words. If you love her, say I love you. If you don't want to be apart, say I don't want to part. Why couldn't I say those things? The notebook lay open, the notebook she left behind. How many more pages had I written since her last one? It was already filled with only my handwriting, and it looked very lonely. I don't understand why she disappeared. Of course, even if I knew why, it didn't mean I could do a thing about it. For now, I will just aim for being a doctor. I mattered while writing today's entry in the diary. Even if we don't meet now, I know we'll meet someday, and so for now, I'll see if I can become a doctor. I'm certain that's what she would want. God damn it.
それで医者になったの。
まあな。
The long story over, he let out a small sigh. Really, I wonder how many years ago this happened. It must have happened in the distant past. But his face was still very lonely. Perhaps there was still more to the story. With that sudden thought, I continued to question him.
それよりも、彼女とはそれっきり。
気になるのか？
質問で返さないでよ。
This person throws me a bit of balance.
でも、探しに行かなかったなって。白状ね。
そう言うなよ。あの時はそれが正しいと思ったんだ。
He gave a small laugh as he told me this. Then slowly he opened his mouth and took up the story again. 6 years later. Spring Tokyo. I had graduated university and was now an intern. My plan from the beginning was to return immediately to my hometown, but as of yet I was still in Tokyo. For I didn't have to, I decided to take clinical training on the advice of my university. The hospital I went to was affiliated with this school. It was just like going up an escalator. For I wasn't completely sure, I think I was on the so-called inside track. Of course, this was because I was blessed by good professors, not because of any outstanding grades. But whatever the reason, I was now in contact with patients. For imperfect, I became a low-ranking doctor. I was able to become what was once imagined. I was able to become what she wished for. I'd at least like to show her how I am now. Returning to my room, I wrote again in the notebook today. I don't do it every day, but I still occasionally write in the diary. That was another rule from before. I wonder what she's doing right now. In the past, her health was delicate, and I knew that she was shy around strangers. But it didn't bother me. Now I finally understood. I aim to become a doctor, and now that I am one, I understand. Ever since childhood, I had felt powerless about the home, and had wanted to do something about it. But even with that, I didn't become a doctor for the sake of the home. At first, I had thought it was just because she asked me. That was the first year. Then 2, 3 years passed, and I gradually understood. This was how I linked with her. In the same way, I continued to write in the diary. It seemed that if I lost this, she might disappear from beside me. For her to disappear from Of all the people, me was frightening. It was as if her entire existence was negated, and that wasn't something I could do.
お兄ちゃんいる
Oh, Hiromi, it's open! My sister Hiromi had arrived. Now to realize her own dreams, she was in Tokyo, working for a famous beauty parlor. So she often dropped by my room. Naturally, we both worried about our home, half each. When I could stand on my own, then I would return. What's wrong? Need something?
近くまで来たからついでに。それって確か。
So saying, my sister pointed at the aforementioned diary. I was right in the middle of writing.
そっか。やっぱり今でも、陽子ちゃんのこと気にしていたんだね。
While she gave a small nod, I stopped writing. That she sees me writing isn't particularly embarrassing or awkward. I don't write every day, and my sister also knows that I still write occasionally.
ねえお兄ちゃん、私、陽子ちゃんを探そうと思う。
What?
以前にはやめろって言われたけど、ちゃんと会ってみるべきだよ。
Somehow, at my sister's terrible voice, I couldn't say anything. Certainly, I thought my sister was right. I might think that, but was it the right thing to do? My line of thinking hadn't changed from past times. There wasn't a day that I didn't think about wanting to see her. And during these many years, I dreamed also of just suddenly finding her by chance. But she had her own reasons to vanish from me. But more than anything, because I hadn't stopped her before. Because I never said I love you. I'm not sure I had a right to ignore her wishes and see her again. Obviously I didn't know if I shouldn't meet her or not. Over and over and over, I repeated the same thing to myself. And it only led to now. I thought about it endlessly. But before long... Hiromi? Suddenly my sister burst into tears. When we were young, one of her best qualities was her optimism. This was the first I had seen her cry.
だってそのノートもうお兄ちゃんしか書いてないじゃない。本当は交換日記のはずなのに。
Everything she said was right. The first pages had only her writing, and after that it was only me who continued writing in the notebook. My sister's lonely sobbing echoed and the seemingly desolate act. You're right, we should probably meet. I patted her back and over while she continued to cry. No matter what the reason, nothing can begin until we meet. Let's show her that I had become a doctor. At the very least, I wanted to return the notebooks. And this is where the episode ends. And in the next one, we'll go with the next chapter, obviously. So hope you enjoyed it, and see you tomorrow. Bye bye. If you want to get informed every time I upload new videos, click that annotation floating above the text, subscribe to never miss a video. To watch one of yesterday's videos, click that annotation around video on the left. Annotation around the cover of the game, which is located on the right, will get you to the playlist of the series that is currently being uploaded to the channel. When it comes to following me in other communities, all the links to these are in the description.